The year is 2032 and Barcelona have become the bridesmaids of Spanish football. They haven't finished outside the top three in the last 10 years, but they haven't won the Spanish League title since 2019, they haven't won the Champions League since 2015, and they've only made the semi-final twice in the last 10 years. So, Xavi has decided to step aside after failing to bring success back to Barcelona in his decade in charge, and the job falls to me as I attempt to Football Manager 23 future rebuild and get Barcelona back to the top of Spanish football. Hello everyone, welcome to the channel and welcome to a Barcelona future rebuild. I simulated the game forward 10 years. I went to 2032 and I realised that Barcelona haven't won the Spanish League title or the Champions League in all that time. So I took it upon myself to take over at the club and attempt to bring glory back to the Nou Camp and put Barcelona back to the top of Spanish football. We have a little look down here. Last season's final league table is still visible. Real Madrid won the title with 91 points. We were back in second on 78 points. That's a 13-point deficit. 13-point gap we've got to overturn for next season. And also, the chasing pack weren't that far behind us. Betis in third were only 4 points back. And then Seville and Valencia were 7 points behind us. So, the gap to sixth place is exactly the same gap as to the title. So it's going to be a very, very difficult save, this, by the looks of it. I've got to overturn a 13-point deficit while also hoping that the chasing pack don't start catching up with us. We have a look at the club overview. You will see that we haven't finished outside the top three in the last 10 years. 2022-23 we finished third, and 28-29 we finished third. Other than that, we've finished second every season. So we are the perennial bridesmaid of Spanish football, and I'm hoping to make us the bride once again. Looking at the club vision, you can see that they want us to qualify for the Champions League for next season and win the La Liga in the 23-24 season. 33-34 season even. So, I've got this season and next season to get us back to the top of Spanish football, but I'm hoping that I can try to win the Champions League at some point as well, even though we only reached the last 16 last season. Let's go and have a look at the squad I'm working with, and then we'll have a little look at the financial situation and see how much money there is to bring new players in. Right, I'm just going to have a look at the squad via the squad planner. I will have a look at players individually, because obviously here we'll see their current ability with regards star rating, we'll see their position, and we'll see how much they earn and when their contract expires and transfer value and stuff. What we won't see is their attributes and their statistics for last season or the season before or whatever. So I might get a player here who's got 5-star current ability, but they're only getting a 6.3 rating. Or I might have someone who's on a 2.5 star who's been getting a 7.6 rating. So I will have a look at the players individually off camera, because it will take far too long to do it on camera. And we'll just have a quick look at the squad planner and see what I've got. Ilan Meslier, or Meslier, I'm going to say Meslier, I'm not going to pronounce the S. He is our number one goalkeeper, 32-year-old. 110 grand a week, 3-star current. Other than that, there's not much in the way of goalkeepers at the club. Armando Ferrari and Nicola Cavlina are the emergency backups on quite a bit of wages for emergency backups. So it may be time to bring in a different goalkeeper. So that's the first thing I've noticed. Right back, Oscar Fortuny, 22-year-old elite fullback. So he's a new gen star player. 375 grand a week, valued up to 105 million. So he could be a very exciting player, can play defensive right, left or centre. So he might be someone who's very, very good and the sort of player we can build the club around. Jules Koundé and Pedro Porro are the backup, both of them in their early 30s now and on a fuck ton of money. So we'll have a look at the hierarchy and the dynamics and stuff at the club before I decide players to move on. But thinking about it, I don't really want 32, 33-year-old players clogging up the squad. We have a look at left back. We've got Alejandro Balda, who again is another elite fullback, 4.5-star current, valued up to 103 million. So my fullbacks look all right, although there ain't much in the way of backup. So we've got Fortuny on the right, Bowder on the left, and then there's not much in terms of younger players coming through. In the centre of defence, we've got Ronald Araujo. Do I pronounce the J or not? Someone who speaks a little bit better Spanish than me, could you let me know if we pronounce the J down in the comments? For now, I'm not going to pronounce it. It's going to be Ronald Araujo and Jules Koundé. They are the centre-backs that I have. Both 33 years old, so they're both going to be on the decline pretty soon. They're both elite centre-backs now. 4-star current ability, the pair of them. But do I want to bring in some younger players? Because the younger players are coming behind them haven't got much in the way of current ability. They may have lots of potential though, so we'll have a look and see. Defensive midfield, I've set them up in a 4-2-3-1 at the minute with 2 defensive midfielders. That may change, but if we look, Araujo and De Jong. We're not pronouncing J's in this series. De Jong are my best 2 midfielders. Both elite. Again, though, Araujo is my best defender, so he'll be there. So we'll probably have De Jong and Pobega, both in their 30s, like I've said. Cesare Casadei is next. 29-year-old world-class midfielder. And then Frank Kessie. Again, not much in the way of younger backup coming through. On the right-hand side of attack, an inverted winger or whatever we've got, Alejandro Bowder is the best on the right-hand side by the looks of it, although he's going to be my left-back, isn't he? So, Pedri. We've got Pedri. Elite attacking midfielder, 425 grand a week, star player. And then behind him, we've got Julian Alvarez, Ferran Torres, Nicolo Zaniolo, Ansu Fati. On the left, Pedri's the best on the left as well, and Bowder. So it'll probably be Fati on the left. So if I was picking the team at the minute, we'd probably go Meslier in goal, Fortuny, Bowder, Araujo, Koundé, De Jong, Pobega, Pedri, Fati, either Alvarez or Casadei. And then Alvarez or Ferran Torres. That's not the Ferran Torres that's at the club at the minute, by the way. That Ferran Torres is a 25-year-old new gen who can play on the right-hand side, attacking midfield, or is a natural up front. So we'd probably put him up front and then Julian Alvarez behind as the attacking midfielder. But again, we're looking at ages here. Look, 32-year-old. Zaniolo's 32. We've got a lot of older players. Let me just go to the squad screen and just have a look at the ages of all our players. We sort by age here. Look, we've got there to there are over 30. We've got there to there are over 28. So all we've got under the age of 25 at the club is that. Fortuny is the only real proper first teamer there. Ferran Torres, probably looking at him being a first teamer straight from the off because he's like the striker that I've got. But other than that, we've got some potential there with Seacart, Diouf, Benito. They've all got a little bit of potential, or quite a bit of potential. But as it stands, it could be a summer where I need to get rid of a lot of these older players and replace them with younger models who can challenge for the title again. Got Andreas Schelder up, the wonder kid who a lot of players have been signing in the game. 28 years old at the minute. Not actually as good as a lot of people would hope he would turn out, to be fair. One thing we've got to look at, though, if we're going to look at signing players, although if we get rid of some of the older players, it will bring in quite a bit of money and spare up a lot of wage budget. Let's go and have a look at the financial situation, because at the moment in real life, Barcelona are in a shit state financially. Let's go and have a look and see what they're like in FM23 in 10 years' time. Well, that's a healthy bank balance, isn't it? £188,318,286 in the bank. a transfer budget of £184 million, a wage budget of £6 million with committed spending of 5.6. There is no debt. So Barcelona have spent the last decade, they might not have won the league in the last 10 years, or the Champions League, but they have been clearing their net debt. Transfer debt of just under 9 million, which is nothing really. That can be written off quite quickly. So the club are in a healthy financial position. I think I might need to get rid of a few of the older players and bring in some younger players. It could be an exciting summer transfer-wise, but first I've got to look at the dynamics. Because if I get rid of all the team leaders and the influential players, it's going to upset the apple cart a little bit, isn't it? We look at the hierarchy. Pedri, De Jong and Araujo are my team leaders. Araujo is also the club captain, so I might have to keep him around for a little bit. Jules Koundé is the vice captain and the most highly influential player at the club. And then other highly influential players are Fati, Shelderup, Porro, Alvarez, Bauda, Fortuny, Zaniolo, Romero, Casadei, Meslier and Torres. If I start getting rid of some of these players, it might upset people a little bit and affect the dressing room atmosphere. But suppose it's going to be something I'm going to have to contend with because I need to bring in younger players. I can't have a load of old men clogging up this team when I'm only giving myself, or I've only got 2 years as the club on the club vision to win the league again. But that is the squad, that is the dynamics, and that is the financial situation. So now I'm going to go and look to see what players are available. We're on the eve of the season starting. The league season gets underway in just over 24 hours for us with a game against Ijon. I think it's pronounced Ijon. Is it Gijon? I don't know. I ain't got a clue. But for now, I think my transfer business is done. There's still a few weeks left of the transfer window. 1st of September, transfer window closes. There's a couple of my players linked with moves, but I think I'm done. Mainly because the finance situation now looks like this. Original transfer budget was 148 million. We've got less than 35 million left. Little bit of leeway. We've got a few £100,000 a week left in the wage budget. Basically, that money there is for a goalkeeper if I find the right one. We haven't managed to bring in another goalkeeper yet. We have actually sold one of our backups as well. So we've got our first choice goalkeeper who's a 3-star current ability and ain't really going to get any better. And then we've got quite a poor backup. I did try to sign the goalkeeper in the Media Dream 11, Real Madrid's goalkeeper. This person. Emil Churches, 24-year-old English international goalkeeper. Fantastic attributes all around. He had a £75 million release clause. He's valued between 55 and 67 million. So his £75 million release clause was more than he's actually valued at. I met the release clause. I offered him 112, I think it was £112,000 a week. He rejected my contract offer and signed a new contract with Real Madrid, earning £89,000 a week. But like I said, we have made some signings and we've let some people go out the door as well. First signing we made was Alberto Moliero, 28-year-old Spanish attacking player, can play as an attacking midfield on the left, attacking midfield centre, and he's accomplished in the centre of midfield as well, so he can drop back and play there. We signed him from Benfica for £51 million. It will rise. There are a few add-ons and stuff, but he's a 4-star current ability player. He's unlikely to improve, but he don't really need to. He's 28 years old. Lowers that age, just that squad average age, just a little bit. He is a great option to have. We've brought him in. He's an elite attacking midfielder. He's an important player in his prime years, and I think he can add a lot to the team. The second player we brought in, who is on last season's transfer budget, so that money come out of last season's transfer budget, is Thomas Hernandez, 24-year-old Argentinian striker, 10 caps for his country with 2 goals, finishing attributes of 17, technique of 17. He's quite quick. He's got great natural fitness, good anticipation. He's considered in the squad comparison to be our 3rd best striker behind Alvarez and Ansu Fati. He's got a little bit of decent potential though. We've paid £50 million for him. Could rise to about 70 million, I think, with add-ons. But he's valued up to 82 mil. So and he's only 24 years old. So we could get our money back if he doesn't perform. We signed him from Lyon. He was at Liverpool before that and River Plate before that. Next in came Pavel Hristov, 23-year-old Bulgarian international midfielder, can play defensive midfielder or in the centre of midfield. He is not going to be a starting player for us. He's come in as a squad player. He's a very good squad player to have. He's going to add quite a bit of decent depth to the midfield positions. He's younger as well, so he's 23 years old. He's got that little bit of potential. So again, bringing that average age of the squad down. He comes in from Paris Saint-Germain, who made 40 appearances for them in the last 4 years, and I'm hoping that he can provide some quality for us when called upon. And the last player through the door, so one of 4 signings that we made, was Vladimir Dokic, 22-year-old Serbian international defender, central defender, 6'2", great jumping reach, good stamina, decision making. He's brave, teamwork. He can tackle, he can mark, he can head. He's not going to be a starter for us. He's come in as a squad player. We've paid £71 million for him, so we've paid a lot of money for him. But he's going to get better, and he's going to replace Koundé when he's out the club. So he's one of those players that this season he's going to be a squad player, play when he can. Next season, he's going to look to move into the first team. He's coming from Arsenal after making 15 appearances for them. Was at Villarreal before that, and yeah, he's going to be another one who is going to add depth to the squad. He brings the average age down, and in a couple of seasons' time, he will be possibly our main defender. It was 4 in, 4 out. We have got rid of 4 players as well. Ioso Tur has gone to Leipzig for £8 million. Frank Kessie has gone to Al Nassr in Saudi Arabia for £1.4 million. Armando Ferrari, who was one of our backup goalkeepers, has gone to Middlesbrough for £1.1 million. And Cesare Casadei has gone to PSG for £55 million. Now, we signed Pavel Hristov as a squad player from PSG for 36 mil. Because Cesare Casadei was really going to be one of my starting midfielders. But PSG put the offer in, and he said that the agent said it will upset him if we don't accept. We had to accept the offer. At first, they put in something like 46 million. I managed to milk a little bit more money out of them, got 55 mil in the end. And Frank Kessie was another one. The offer came in from Al Nassr. He's 35 years old. He was still probably going to play a part for us. I think he was down as our best defensive midfielder at the time. But Al Nassr come in. Kessie said, I want to leave. But it's also quite funny how when he was with the club, he was considered to be quite an important player. Now he's gone. Our scout says only sign him as a last resort. So it was probably a good move shuffling him out the door. So goalkeeper position, again, like I said, still an issue. We've got Meslier in goal. Had to sign, he wanted a new contract, so I had to offer him a new contract where he's getting more money than what he was actually on before. Whereas if I could have managed to bring in a new first choice goalkeeper, I might have just got rid of him. That's the only real issue problem we've got though, because we've got a lot of cover in other positions. If you just look through, we've got decent depth now across the ball. The defensive midfielder position could still be a slight issue because we've got a load of older players, so unless someone like Diouf or Hristov can step up to the plate when needed, we've got decent cover everywhere, really. Yeah, we've got quite a few older players still in the squad, but I think they'll be all right for this season. So we've got the squad depth. We've got our transfers done for now. Like I said, there are still a few weeks left of the transfer window, and I am looking at bringing in a new goalkeeper. But other than that, unless we sell, we won't be making any more changes to the squad. The season preview predicts us to finish second again, behind Real Madrid, who are odds-on favourites. We have the back line of Fortuny, Koundé, Araujo and Balda as the Media Dream 11 defence, and then Pedri makes the Media Dream 11 as well. Hopefully we can perform better than what the prediction says. It is if you look at the betting odds, a 2-horse race between us and Real Madrid for the title. And hopefully we will get a great start to the season and start putting pressure on our rivals from the off. Right, that's going to wrap up this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. Basically, this was just a little look at the squad ahead of my rebuild. I didn't want to do a rebuild where I come in, make transfers, and then simulate into the future. I do enjoy watching those types of videos. I do quite enjoy the rebuilds where people simulate 3 years, 5 years, or whatever. But for this one, I wanted to do a sort of rebuild / let's play series, sort of mix the two together. I will play. I wanted to do the first episode where I come and have a little look at what we've got. We're 9.5 years in the future. We're in August 2032 now, so we're in the future. Things have changed around the game of football itself. I wanted to come and have a look at the squad that I've got. I wanted to make some transfers, get to the start of the season, and then I'm going to play a massive chunk of games off camera. We're going to have the Champions League draw and stuff. Then we're going to start the Champions League, which is now played in a different format. For those of you who have got to that level, I haven't actually played in the new Champions League format in this game yet, because most of my saves have only been a season or two, or I've been in the lower league. So this will be my first time experience in the new Champions League. So I'm quite looking forward to that. But what I'm going to do is, I'm going to do it, like I said, probably like 3 or 4 episodes a season. I'm only planning on doing 3 seasons maximum. Basically, once we won the Liga, I might play a season to see if we can win the Champions League. But the aim is that I just want to win the league. I want to put Barcelona back on the top of Spanish football. The Champions League would be just a bonus. So the aim of this series is just to win the league. So if I do that this season, then what I might do is then simulate a couple of seasons ahead to see what happened next. But basically, when we win the season, the series has been a success and I can move on. Anyway, like I said before, hope you enjoyed this video. If you did like it and you want to see more, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell to know when future videos are released. Comment below to say hi, and I will see you all again very soon. Take care. Bye-bye for now.